You have completed all of the modules that you selected for Unit 1, and now you are ready for your final writing project, a literary analysis essay. We're going to work through the essay step by step, giving you guidance along the way. Our learning objective for this lesson is to analyze a sample student model and plan a meaningful literary analysis essay in response to a prompt. Let's begin by looking at the prompt that you'll be writing on. Select 2 or 3 works from this unit in which individuals' language has a powerful impact on themselves, another individual, or their community. In a literary analysis essay, make a claim about what exactly is the power of language and explain how that power is demonstrated in each of the selections. Cite evidence from the text that you have selected to support your position. Be sure your literary analysis includes the following: an introduction, a clear thesis with a claim, evidence that develops the claim, transitions to link major sections of the essay, and a conclusion. Now that we've looked at the writing prompt, jump over to tab 2 and read the student model essay. You'll want to pause this video and come back to it when you're done reading. Then we will analyze the student model. Go ahead and pause now. Now that you're done reading the student model essay, let's analyze some of its components. First, let's look at organization. How is Caroline's essay organized? She begins with an introduction, and each body paragraph discusses one text that supports her claim. She ends with a conclusion to tie together all the texts. You can follow a similar organization if you wish. Next, let's look at purpose. Where is Caroline's thesis or claim? Her thesis is at the end of paragraph 1 in her introduction. This is where I expect that you will also write your thesis. Next, let's look at focus. What's an example of a transition that Caroline uses to connect ideas? One example is the beginning of paragraph 4, which begins by referencing paragraph 3 and stating how the two subjects are similar. This transition effectively helps the reader move from one topic to the next in her essay. Next, let's look at elaboration. What is one valid point or reason that Caroline includes to support her claim? Caroline gives many valid points or reasons throughout her essay. One example can be found in paragraph 3, where Caroline writes that Patrick Henry's emotional language is more persuasive than anything else. This is a strong reason, and she backs it up with evidence. Speaking of evidence, let's take a look at one piece of textual evidence that Caroline includes to support a reason. And once again, Caroline uses textual evidence throughout her essay, but one example can be found in paragraph 3. Patrick Henry often referenced chains in his speech to persuade his audience that Americans are enslaved by the British. For example, he asks, quote, "Is life so dear or peace so sweet as to be purchased at the price of chains and slavery?" That is great textual evidence. Next, let's look at word choice. Where do you find Caroline's word choice especially strong or expressive? Caroline has a lot of great examples of strong word choices throughout her essay. But sticking with paragraph 3, Caroline writes that what Henry is suggesting is treasonous. The word treasonous is strong. Let's now look at sentence fluency. Choose one sentence that you think is really effective. Why do you think it's so strong? One that I picked is from her introduction paragraph. The sentence, "Words may not kill a person instantly, like a weapon, but, like a tool, they can shape the world." This sentence uses imagery to convey her idea effectively. Finally, let's look at language conventions. Give an example of an independent and dependent clause that Caroline uses. It's okay if you don't know the difference between a dependent and independent clause right now. You will be practicing those during your own editing. But just as a quick explanation, one independent clause that Caroline used is in her introduction paragraph. Words are powerful. An independent clause contains a subject and a verb and can stand on its own as a complete thought. And one dependent clause can be found in paragraph 2 with the clause, especially pets and yaks. This clause cannot stand on its own as a complete thought. It requires the rest of the sentence that surrounds it to make sense. Again, don't worry too much about getting this right now. We'll have a lesson on this later. And that brings us to your task for this lesson. You are going to start planning out your essay by writing a one paragraph response to the bullet point questions at the top of tab 3. Don't worry about getting too detailed at this stage. Just focus on the most essential details. You'll be referring to this summary as you continue working through the steps of the writing process. This summary paragraph will not affect your grade, but it is an important starting point for your essay, so don't skip it. Please talk to me if you need clarification about the writing prompt or about the tasks for this lesson.